It was autumn of 1817 when the Bell family's quiet life in Adams, Tennessee took a terrifying turn. Their peaceful farmhouse surrounded by sprawling fields was filled with an unsettling sounds of knocks, rattles, and scraping. At first, John Bell dismissed the noises as the wind or animals, but soon the family realized something far darker had taken hold of their home. One evening, after a long day working at the land, John Bell sat down to dinner with his wife, Lucy, and their children, Betsy, Richard, and Joel. As they ate, a loud bang echoed through the walls, shaking the plates and cutlery violently. John's hands gripped the table as the family froze. "There it is again," Betsy whispered, her voice trembling. Her wide eyes darted towards her father. John stood abruptly, his chair scraping the floor. "Stay here," he ordered, his voice tight with fear and anger, determined to find the source of the disturbance. He marched out of the room. What you just heard is an excerpt of the script I've written for the Bell Witch. Now, I want to say I haven't written a story for this because the story in itself of the Bell Witch is actually kind of it's a story in and of itself. There's not a whole lot that I could have done to made it more terrifying, or I feel like anything that I would have tried to add to this would have just been like adding fiction to what's already kind of a fantastical tale. And it's a good story all around. But before we go any further into it, I just wanted to say welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome to the channel. My name is Stone Rock. What we do here is I pick a topic. Usually I write a story for it, and then we write a script, and then we go over it. We have a kind of a dialogue about these things. Usually it's cryptids, ghosts, ghouls, goblins, whatever. I haven't really gone over any goblins, but we've done gnomes, gnome-like creatures. We've done vampires, the Tokoloshi from African folklore. So if you're into those kinds of things, if you like the kind of lore breakdowns and stuff like that, why don't you hit that like, subscribe button, leave me a comment down below. Let me know how you feel about the Bell Witch. This is an American tale, obviously. There was the movie that came out in the early 2000s. It featured Kiefer Sutherland's father. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But it took the story and made it about S.A. Basically, from what I gathered, the story was about S.A. and John Bell was S.A.ing Betsy, and the whole family was just kind of oblivious to it. I don't think that's what the real story is actually about, but we're going to keep going now. As he crossed the hallway, a cold draft swept through the house, chilling him to the bone. A growing sense of dread told him someone was watching. He shook off the feeling, attributing it to nerves, but as he passed the stairs, his heart nearly stopped. At the top of the stairs stood a woman, pale and translucent, with dark eyes gleaming with malice. She pointed directly at him, and then, with a gust of cold air, she vanished. John stumbled back, gasping. He had heard the rumors, the story of Kate Batts, the so-called witch, who cursed him after a land dispute, but he never believed it. Now, standing in his own house, John Bell began to wonder if the legend was far more real than he had ever imagined. I don't know what I was doing there. Edit that out. In the weeks that followed, the Bell family's torment grew worse. Betsy, the youngest daughter, became the primary target. Each night, she would wake to the sensation of visible hands pulling her hair, ripping at her blankets from under her bed, or even slapping her across the face. Her once rosy cheeks were now pale, her eyes dulled with fear. John and Lucy tried everything, prayers, salt, and even bringing in the local preacher, but nothing worked. The voice in the house soon revealed itself, whispering from the shadows. "I'm Kate. I've come to punish you, John Bell." The voice taunted them relentlessly, mocking their prayers and tormenting Betsy. As the children played outside, it echoed their names from the trees. There was no escape. John's health began to deteriorate. At first, it was headaches, a sharp debilitating pain at the base of the skull. Soon, the pain left him bedridden for days. At night, he awoke to the voice whispering horrible things.
"I'll kill you, John Bell."
No medicine or prayer seemed to help, and as John's condition worsened, it became clear that the Bell Witch had set her sights on him for reasons no one could fully explain. It was probably because of that land dispute he was supposedly in, right? For Betsy, the torment was becoming unbearable. By 1818, she had become engaged to Joshua Gardner, a local boy. The witch, however, despised him. Whenever he visited, the activity intensified. Louder knocks, violent shaking, and shrieking filled the air.
"You'll never marry him,"
the witch hissed. The voice followed Betsy everywhere, poisoning her happiness. Sleep became impossible, her dreams filled with darkness, and her hands reaching from the shadows. One afternoon, while walking by the river with Joshua, Betsy stopped. The woods felt heavy, oppressive, and the air stifling. "I can't do this anymore," she whispered tearfully. "The witch won't stop. I have to end it." Though Josh protested, Betsy broke off their engagement that night, hoping to stop the torment. As she cried alone in her room, the witch's voice came again, softer this time.
"You've done well, Betsy, but there's more to come."
By winter 1820, John Bell was a shadow of the man he had once been. Too weak to leave his bed, he could barely speak. His health rapidly declined, and on December 19th, 1820, John Bell was found paralyzed. The next morning, he was dead. The family discovered a mysterious vial of dark liquid by his bedside, which none of them recognized. The witch's voice rang out in triumph.
"I gave him the poison. I killed John Bell."
The Bell family buried John in the cemetery, but even during the funeral, the witch's laughter echoed as they lowered his body into the ground. Though John was gone, the terror was not over. After John's death, the Bell family torment subsided, but the scars of the ordeal remained. Lucy Bell, John's widow, was strangely spared from the worst of the witch's wrath and was even referred to as the sweetest woman alive by the entity. She continued to live on the farm, eventually passing away years later, remembered for her strength through the unimaginable hardships. Betsy Bell, who had endured the brunt of the attacks, went on to marry Richard Powell, a local school teacher, a few years after her father's death. The haunting seemed to end with the departure from Adams, but she never spoke openly of her experiences with the Bell Witch. And she also, it's said by living relatives that she also was really just kind of scared to sleep alone. It's said that she would always have the children in the bed with her while she slept because it was just easier for her to sleep like that. So this woman continued to suffer torment from whatever was afflicting them for years to come after this. John and Lucy's sons, Joel, Richard, and Drury, continued to live on the farm, though their lives were largely untouched by the haunting after John's death. The witch occasionally made her presence known, but the worst had passed. In 1828, the Bell Witch reportedly returned for a brief time, this time engaging in conversations with John Bell Jr. She predicted events such as the Civil War and other misfortunes before disappearing, leaving behind a promise to return in 107 years. Though the Bell family tried to move on, the memory of the Bell Witch never truly faded. The legend continued to grow, becoming one of the most famous ghost stories in American history. Even today, visitors to Adams, Tennessee wonder if the witch's curse still lingers in the winds, though the old Bell Farm or the shadows of the Bell Witch Cave. Would you dare to visit? Choice is yours, but beware. Some say that the witch is still watching, still waiting. It is said that she still inhabits the cave. I believe it was, I want to say John Adams or Andrew Jackson. One of them supposedly visited the property and was scared away by the witch. I don't believe that for a second, but that is one of the rumors attributed to the Bell Witch in the area. But that's all I have for you today. Sorry, no story. Like I said, the whole thing is kind of fantastical in and of itself. I didn't really see a way to write a story about something like this when it's already a decent story. But anyways, Now I have given you the information, and you can do with it whatever you want. If you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think down below. As always, if you want to support the channel, there's a merch shelf down below. Check out all the merch. It's pretty dope. Anyways, I'm going to head out. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you on the next one.
Where others fail